Greetings. This is an important planetary forecast that highlights a significant planetary parade and rare four-way planetary alignment converging within a 4-day period. This month will have 9 geocentric planetary alignments, with 6 of them converging from January 6 through 10, could initiate major solar activity as well as powerful geophysical events in the month of January of 2026. It must be noted that the Earth will be reaching Perihelion, its closest point of its orbit of the Sun for the year, on January 3rd. We also get 2 Moon-Jupiter conjunctions, 2 lunar perigees and 3 lunar declinations, all converging in the month of January. This video will highlight key planetary drivers that could be foreshadows for major events unfolding throughout the month. Now looking at a visualization of the planets using solar system scope, we can see an amazing series of planetary connections that are about to take place in early January 2026. Now Mars and Venus will make a connection with the Sun, heliocentric, and the Earth will join the party on the other side of the Sun, forming a 3-way alignment. And if you involve the Sun, that's a 4-way planetary alignment. And in behind we have Jupiter forming a 5-way planetary stellium, which is an extremely rare celestial occurrence where we get 5 celestial bodies all forming together, and we get that within 1 degree of separation from January 6 through January 10, which marks this period as highly significant in terms of celestial and also geophysical potential felt here on the Earth. We have some strong symmetry leading back into the Carrington event of 1859. When you consider just prior to this major solar storm in history, we had a major alignment of the planets. We had a series of planets involving Earth, Venus, Mars and Saturn on that occasion, and Mercury joining the party as well. So we have a very significant series of planetary alignments just prior to the major Carrington event, and it is a worry that potentially we may see something similar in January of 2026. It must be mentioned that Saturn was involved in multiple planetary connections occurring almost simultaneously just prior to the major solar storm of 1859. This time around Saturn is not involved in the month of January, although Jupiter will be involved quite strongly. So I do feel that there's some strong symmetry with the position of Saturn back in 1859, and this time the position of Jupiter being extremely potent. So it may present a risk of some strong solar activity and potential strong geophysical events as well. Another major solar storm affected the Earth in March of 1989, producing 11 X-class solar flares and a series of very significant geomagnetic storms felt here on the Earth. Importantly, there was an X-15 class solar flare on March 6. Just 2 days prior, we have 2 important and powerful planetary alignments that were in play: Neptune and Saturn, and Mars and Jupiter. Neptune and Saturn will be making their conjunction again in February of 2026, and Mars and Jupiter this time will be making their opposition in January of 2026. We're now looking at the important astronomical events for the month. The Moon will be reaching Perigee right at the beginning of the month on January 1st, followed by the Earth reaching Perihelion just 2 days later. And on the same day, the Moon-Jupiter conjunction will be taking place, all within 5 hours of the Earth reaching Perihelion. Mercury reaches aphelion on the 6th of the month, the same day as Venus reaches a superior conjunction, powerful planetary alignment between Earth, Venus and Sun. This starts a series of major planetary connections, and Mars will be making a conjunction with the Sun on the 9th, and the following day Jupiter will be at opposition on the 10th. So this time frame from 6 through 10 is amazing. We move to the lunar apogee on the 13th. Then Mercury makes a planetary alignment with Earth and Sun on the 21st of the month, and a day later Venus will be reaching aphelion. Then we get the important Moon-Jupiter conjunction on the 31st, and just prior to that we get another lunar perigee. We're now looking at the perihelion a little bit more closely over the last 30 years, and looking at the earthquake symmetry that tend to occur around this time frame. When you combine the perihelion and major planetary alignments, we tend to get some large earthquakes greater than 7 magnitude, so we could get another one early in 2026 based on this symmetry of Earth reaching perihelion and major planetary alignments converging near simultaneously. Now looking at the important lunar aspects taking place for the month. Now we are looking for simultaneous interactions. We get that quite a few times in the month of January. But the key standout period is January 3rd, where we get oppositions of Moon Venus and Moon Mars combined into the Moon Jupiter conjunction. So January 3rd stands out as highly significant in terms of lunar influence for the month. Now looking at the Moon Jupiter conjunction and the earthquake symmetry. And we do get 2 Moon-Jupiter conjunctions this month on the 3rd and 31st. So this could be time frames where we could get an amplification of seismicity across the globe. So something to watch, as they do coincide with the important lunar perigee as well. So there's a lot going on in the month of January, and we do need to consider that the planetary aspects will be focused quite powerfully during the month. Now we've just come through 2 powerful supermoons of November and December of 2025. We're now moving into a weakened phase of the lunar influence as it pulls away from the Earth. We get the 6th closest approach for the Moon for the year at Perigee on January 1st, and then weakening to the 10th just towards the end of the month, January 29. So the lunar influence will be quite powerful at the beginning of the month and starting to weaken as we progress through. But I am concerned that the first week of the month could give us some fairly significant geophysical events based on their lunar influence and lunar interactions just after lunar perigee. And we have a significant planetary convergence taking place, unlike anything we've seen for the last 50 years. This is a powerful event taking place from January 6 through 10, where we get a series of planetary connections and almost a perfect 5-way planetary connection, including the Sun. Then we have Mercury making a fast-moving connection on January 18 with Mars. Sun will conjoin Mercury on the 21st, so this is another time frame where Mercury will be exalted. And January 29, Mercury will conjoin Venus, another powerful planetary alignment, right towards month's end. You do get a very powerful Jupiter in the month of January, making a series of planetary alignments as mentioned in this video, but we get reconnections of the same planets in November, so Jupiter will be extremely strong in January and November of 2026, and we could see the foreshadows of what's taking place in January show itself again in November of 2026. Now going to be forecasting with astrocartography possible areas in the globe that may be affected in the month of January for significant geophysical events. Now going to be focusing on the great planetary alignment that's taking place from January 6 through 10 as a major facilitator for a major geophysical event felt here on the Earth. And the key planetary driver definitely will be Jupiter, and the main focus of attention for the Jupiter position will be in 2 locations across the globe in the month. The first area will be Central America. This will be the first area of focus for this major event. As the Earth moves in between both Sun and Jupiter, we get a strong resonance focus over Central Americas, with the key areas of focus being Nicaragua, Honduras or Costa Rica for a potential 7.2 magnitude. This is due to the position of Jupiter as it moves across the Cocos Plate and the Caribbean plates during the month. Now focusing on the second area in the globe which could be affected by a major event, and that will be Eastern China, where there's strong data and analysis that indicates a potential major event for the region. Specific areas of interest will be the regions of Tangshan and Beijing, as they show a very strong symmetry to past earthquakes in 1975 and 1976 due to stations of Jupiter and Saturn marking the region. So the Jupiter station of November of 2025 is highly suspicious, and I'm concerned of a strong quake, and the potential of Jupiter being highly amplified in January is a concern. So this is the main area of focus, Central Americas and also the Eastern China region for a major event in January of 2026. And that concludes this video presentation regarding the planetary influences that will be in play in January of 2026. There is one other area on the globe that may be affected this year, and that is the Fiji region due to a Jupiter station of 2022 and also a series of planetary stations of Neptune and Saturn. The last few years of 2024 and 2025 also marking this area for a future event. So something to watch throughout 2026, as the Fiji region could see a fairly powerful earthquake event to come. Now I did mention earlier that January and November are connected in 2026 due to the Jupiter position, and I'll explain why. We can see that Jupiter is making a series of planetary oppositions of Venus, Mars and Sun in January, and we can see a reconnection as Jupiter and Mars makes a conjunction with the lunar nodes. So this is an extremely powerful time frame where we get a reconnection. So it's definitely something to watch. I do see a major event to come based on the planetary influences that are in play in January. We should see reflection in November, but importantly this could also mean a strong event in terms of volcanic eruption for the Indonesia region, specifically the Sumbing volcano, which I made a video presentation on earlier. I will leave that link in the description box as well as on this page for those interested. And for more information please visit solarwatcher.net and quakewatcher.com, where there will be more information for members and subscribers as well as website newsletters and astrocartography videos. Thanks for watching.